I ran across a story about Allen Iverson doing a tour in Australia. I've seen different articles and interviews of people saying that, Allen Iverson went to Australia and he was doing meet and greets, but he wasn't present mentally. He was there physically, but he just was uninterested. There was people that drove hours to go see him and he wasn't signing any basketballs. He wasn't signing any t-shirts. He wasn't doing Q&A like that. And there was a couple of events that he actually didn't even show up to. And, he watched a couple NBL games and he was just there for 10 minutes and he'd leave. I've seen multiple interviews of this. And, I know Andrew Bogut, an Australian national team player, played in the league for many years. He actually put out a statement too of his disappointment and his disgust. He actually used the word disgust. And it's sad, when people say never meet your heroes. And it's sad when I hear stories like this. It makes you lose a little bit of respect for these people that grew up watching or idolized or tried to emulate. We all respect Allen Iverson for his basketball, but hearing things like this is disappointing because anytime anytime I see people that think they're better than someone else, no matter what you've done, no matter where you are in life, there's no excuse for that kind of behavior. I can't feel sorry for you, and I'll lose respect for you when I hear that you think you're better than anyone else. At the end of the day, we're all human. We're all on this earth, and there's something bigger than the world we're living in. There's something bigger than the life we're in right now. And next stage of our lives, none of this matters. None of this really matters, and it's unfortunate because a lot of people look up to him. I did as well. And, we all have bad days, but there's no excuse. I'm sure you're getting paid a lot of money to do these events, a lot of money. And, some of these people drove hours just to see you, hours just to see you. And actually, one of the events I was reading it was kids with cancer. And, they were happy to see you. Just that hour, that 2 hours just being with Allen Iverson is life changing, given they're not even going to be on this earth that much longer. I had my own experience. This was in, I believe, like 2009. Me and my cousin, we were in Vegas. And one of the guys I grew up watching and wanted to emulate my game like was Baron Davis. Me and Baron, we're the same age. But I followed him through his high school career, his college career at UCLA. I remember when he tore his ACL, I was like, dang, I felt for him because he was just an amazing player. I stole a lot of moves from him by just watching him, wanting to play like him and be like him. And I've never met him before, but one morning in Vegas, I was already playing overseas, but I come home to the States in my off season. And me and my cousin, we were in Vegas, and one morning we were at the Planet Hollywood, and we're just walking, and lo and behold, I see Baron Davis. And this is in the morning, so there was no crowd. He was by himself. And I was like, wow, there goes Baron Davis. And so I gave my cousin my phone. I said, hey, take a picture of us. So we walk over to him, and I said, hey, Baron, polite. I said, hey, Baron, man, do you mind if I get a picture with you? He looks at me side eye and he sizes me up, gives me a up and down look. And he goes, yeah, but I'm not going to stop walking. And I was taken back because when somebody says that to you, that's basically, no, I don't want to take a picture of you. Like, I'm probably not even going to look at the camera. I'm just going to keep walking. You can snap it real quick. And I was just like, wow, and my cousin I looked at him, he looked at me, and we were just like, ouch. Like, so I was like, all right, well, never mind, that's a no. And that was crushing to me because I really followed this guy. He doesn't know who I am. I'm nobody, but I followed him, throughout when I was in high school, when he was in high school, college. I really respected his game and thought he was amazing. And just to have that moment, and that interaction with him was just crushing to me. So it's a real thing. Never meet your heroes, they say, but that is a real thing. It is what it is, but there are people out there like that, and it's unfortunate, but I truly know the feeling of disappointment when you meet somebody that you have looked up to for a long time. So Allen Iverson, man, it's disappointing, and I feel bad. I feel sorry for the people that paid a lot of money and drove a long distance to go see him, just to have a little moment with him. He's there in their country. He those people. It's rare that they're going to be seeing NBA players or legends like Allen Iverson being in another country like that. It just it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it kind of gives you a perspective that just because these people are on TV, it doesn't make them good people. Just because these people are on TV, don't hold them too high on a pedestal, because they'll just disappoint you. Not everyone. I know a lot of good people out there, but a lot of people will just disappoint you, and they're not who you think they are in real life.